Hello, this is a tutorial about how to integrate Wikipedia into your working environment and your library with Mathematica. This will be a relatively long tutorial. At the beginning I will show how to use it. This will be very simple and I think it's impressive. And then if you're interested you can go on and see how this works in detail as an example, how to integrate other web services to your working environment to enrich your library. So, as always, we have to start like this. So we have to evaluate that. Then you need to import the code version 4.0, and I collected that in this case here in the fourth lecture, semester 3, but it might be on different locations. Just look for this set of commands. They need to be evaluated. And that's it. Now it's here, it's presented. We have the parsing of Wikipedia, and again do the evaluation. And now it's working. So now we are ready for work. So we have, like always, a lot of explanations and tests, but go here for the summary. So this is a function, and this needs to be done. For example, we want to create a book for our experiments. Let's call that 4.0. In our library, we first have to link this library and then create a new book. Go to the library. This is my library I want to work on. Choose that, and here we do have a book now, which is part of the library. We have Wiki04. Wiki04 has this small document, it's only 1 kilobyte, and it has the metadata, like all our books. So that's the first step, and now this is a function, and it's the only function you need to import a Wikipedia page to your working environment. It simply says mtp, let's make it a little bigger, mtp parse, and we will have more parsers of that. Currently it's just parse Wikipedia, and then we say, for example, Aldo Rossi, and that's it. Now it's parsing the Wikipedia page and getting Aldo Rossi and all the information we are interested in about Aldo Rossi. So it worked like that. We can look it up and you see early life in our style. So we also can use these here as links. So we have another. So if you save this as your book, then it's Aldo Rossi, early life of the Wiki A4 document. So, and here we are in this document. So therefore we can use links to our working environment like we do it all the time. So all these links in Wikipedia are working. Let's go and get another one. So it's mtp parse Wikipedia, and then, for example, Jean Nouvel. So it's Jean Nouvel. Take this thing here, put it here, and you get Jean Nouvel as a second architect in your environment. This is Jean Nouvel with his, and again this is a link. If you want to save it, you're here and you see all these links and chapters, and you can edit and work with it, delete things if you're not interested in, for example, here there are no references, so if you want to so simply do whatever you like with this text, it's working and it keeps its structure. So you can close, open it, close that, whatever you like. Good, this is how it works, and I hope you enjoy and can use it. Now, the discussion. First, Wikipedia has a quite deep integration into Mathematica. There is here, this is the documentation. So, and you see, just look it up. So you can have a lot of, for example, this is very, very nice. Copy this. For example, here, geo nearby data set to the Eiffel Tower. So we can, for example, say ETH Zurich, geo nearby data set. And you see, for example, our polygon is 314.1 meters distant, and we have here a so-called page ID where we can find the polygon. So these kind of things are, you can get the pictures, you can get the full text and so on. I will show you how this works, and I collected some of the interesting things. For example, you can ask for a certain name, and then you get, or you can, for example, ask for racism, and then you see articles on racism. So that's interesting. So if you have this name, you can ask Wikipedia data, and then you say, for example, Aldo Rossi, and you ask for the page ID. It's an identifier. And this is what we will work with. And then you have this article 45434, and that's the ID of this article. So if it's blue, evaluate that from top to down, then all these things will work. So to get, as you've seen now here, if you have this, and you see here you have the cur ID. This is the web address of John Novell. But you can, for example, let's go for Aldo Rossi. And his English website. If you are here, then you see this is how you do it normally. So this is the same like getting the page ID. But this is, for example, here. Go here. It's HTTPS, English, Wikipedia, cur ID, and then the page number. So page ID. Why is this not working? Because of this. So here, now we create that, and then you see we got our page ID of Rossi, and we bring this integer to a string, make a string join in infix notation, and we configure this web address, and we can go here and say paste it. Be careful with these strings here, and if we return that, that's working and it's the same. So it's the same URL. Good. So page ID. And we can open it with so if we say this page URL, we simply say system open. of the page URL, and then we get it. Good. So then, if we have this, what is interesting as well is, for example, the page information. So this is structured information about this URL, and here, for example, you see the number, the length, the title. You have a page image, and you have the amount of views of the last days, 30 days. So the kind of popularity of this web page. So all the web pages are structured like that. So if we want to have it, this is the page info ID. So it's a little different. You see index, PhD, cure, then we construct it, and then we say action info. And if we open the page instead of page URL, if we open the page info URL, then we are here. Good. That's the next chapter. So now, then it's very simple to get the plain text. So instead of Wikipedia pedia data of Aldo Rossi, and then here you see all the things we can get. So it's a lot. We can, for example, ask for a plain article, plain text, and then we get the plain text of the article. Not too bad. Good. This is simple. So, or we can ask for the linked, for the links. These are all the other articles somehow linked with Aldo Rossi. So we can go for Bonifant Museum and then ask for the Bonifant Museum. So it's just here. Go here, Bonifant Museum. Then we have another ID, and then we go for this ID. Then we have this page URL, system URL. Then we should get this museum in Maastricht of Aldo Rossi. Good. This is how this works. So these are all the image URLs. So if you go for instead of the linked lists, go for the image URLs. Here, then you get all the images, and if you load them, so image URLs as this, so, and then you can say import all these, then you get all the images. No. Then we have to check what's going on here. So I think these are the Wikipedia. So open, system open. Of this. And you see, okay, these are the sources. So therefore, get all the images. We have the image list here. Here we are. Instead of image URLs, we simply say the image list, and we log them. Or, for example, we can go to the image URLs. So, Wikipedia data, for example, with Aldo Rossi, whatever page you want, go for the image URLs, and here you see these are all the images, image URLs. Go and take, for example, the first one, say system open, system open of image URLs, first one. Then you see this is the source in Wikipedia of this image. So, or we can go for the image list. This is not the URLs, but just the images. Go here, then you get all the images of this page. That's fine. Now, for example, we could test for the image size and just get the bigger ones, or we can look at here and see that if it is from Commons, so for example this blue pencil, it's an SVG, we don't want it. It's another SVG, we don't want it. So by the format JPEG we can check whether this is a reasonable picture or not. This filters the just the image URLs which ends with a JPEG, so this is a subset, and then you can go with the images and look for the image URLs. So the images had been here, these are the images, image URLs are these here. Now we transpose them. So this is with this URL, this is with this URL, this is with here, and now we filter. As we've seen, we filter them. So we have this temporary transposed list. This is a list of above. We called it temporary. So and now we check, we do our test, this test, and select the image URL pairs which meet this test that they are JPEGs, and here we are with a JPEG. And we also, I think yeah, that's it. So if you want to have that a nice way, now we resize the images to the width of 256, and here now we have a good selection of pictures and the URLs. For the source. Good. This is how things works around pictures. Good. that's what, in principle, Mathematica is offering in a variety, and this is how to access it. This is the level of understanding you need to go around here. Good. First chapter. Now we want to parse and translate Wikipedia pages. So, as we've seen, these are Aldo Rossi, the page ID, and the page URL. So, page ID is with Aldo Rossi is 45,000, and this is our page URL. Very simple first test to make it clear. So, this is compatible with XHTML, different from our scans, and therefore we directly can import this code. So we take the page URL, we say we want to have it as XML objects, and we get the whole page as XML, so we easily can parse it. So that's the second step. Now we want to go to the title. Let's look it up where Aldo Rossi was here. This is our title. So go for Safari, Preferences, Advanced, and here show the developer menu. Other browsers will have similar things. Now here we have developer. And then we go for the inspector. That's very useful. So go here for elements and take the selection tool, go here, and here we see this is our header. It's called H1, first heading, class first heading. So now in XML, it looks like, so we can say cases. Now we have the XML code, and our key is an XML. We are interested in an XML element, and just look how it is with header 1, what is around there. And we want to have all of them. Okay, then you see it's just this header in H1, first heading, and this is Aldo Rossi. So which means in the second step, if we want to have just Aldo Rossi here, then we need this element here, exclusive, the curly brackets, and put it here. So now this should work exactly the same because it's identical to what we are looking for, and now we have to put that to variable because we are interested in this, and therefore we put X here and say this is what we want to see, and then we see Aldo Rossi. So I think it's not too important what is here to make it, for example, language English. If you want to have a German one, put that to variable, make it 3 of them, and it simply still works. So we only need one title, so it's not a list of matched elements, and we only have one page here, that's intention. So therefore we have first of this, and this is our title. So whatever page we have, there will be another title, because Wikipedia is a server and has a clear structure and renders all the pages to the same structure. So that's the title. Now the page image. So what we had is we had the page info ID. This was different. We had it from above here, the page ID of an article. It was here. page info ID. Just copy it and put it here. Okay, so that's a page info ID. And now we have, because it's another web page, we have another XML code. So put XML code 1 here. That's XML code 1. And take this, should XML, you can have XML object better. So that's the other code. So if we want to get this picture here, it's the same procedure. If we go for example, if we go here for the page information, this is our code, this is our rendering. If we want to see this here, we have it here. So we have image, Aldo Rossi, source, this. So we're looking for an XML element with the tag image. So therefore, we have cases, XML code 1, and then we say XML element of image, and we want to see what we have. And here we have the image. There are 3, but there should be very small ones. So we are interested in the first one. This is Aldo Rossi, and the rest is some small stuff. So take the first. So here we are. So, and again, take this as a key for refinement, and we are interested here in this source X, and we want to see this as an X. So that's our URL. So I think it should not be important what is here. So put 3 things here. It should not important what is the size, the data file, all this is not important. It's simply image, and you want to have the source. This is how it is. So here we need to have some HTTP to look it up. We simply go here, say copy image address, and look how it works, what we have. And here we have upload Wikimedia. This is exactly what we had, but we need an HTTPS in front of it. So therefore we can add this and have a string join infix, and here this is our image page image URL is this, and then page image is import page image URL, and here is Aldo Rossi. Good. This is what we did here. Okay. Now, image, I have to check it. It was image code 1. Good. What might be interesting as well is the page popularity, which is here. So again, go look it up, and you have it here, and just for an exercise, have it this here. Go for div. So the views is cases XML code 1. So XML element we want to have div all. Now we have a lot of them, so then we look how it works. We always have here, these are our attributes. This is what is here with classes. So go and copy this. As a second, it's always the attributes in this format. And we want to see class equals class. Instead of equal, we have this ruled sign. And here we can copy the attribute and copy this. So let's look whether it's working. Yes, we have this, and what we want to have is the last element. Now it's the body, so we want to have X and C X. Now we have this. We don't want to have the... Now this is first. We only need one of that. So this is our number. But this is a string, and here's this crazy comma. So therefore, so we can ask what it is, head. We want to have an integer, yeah? So that's a string, and we have this comma. So we have to remove this comma. This is with string replace, comma. Not the first. Make this flatten. No. Should work. String. Yeah, replace. We have to make a rule with nothing. So then we have this, it's still a string, and now we have to say two expressions. So then we read this string in as if it is as an expression, and this means that this is read in syntax as an integer. So here, and if we now say head, what is it? And then it's an integer. So therefore, these are the views. That's it. Okay, go further. What we are interested in on. So now, the text content. Go back to our Rossi. We had the title. Now we got this kind of information. Now we want to have the content. So for that, because it's a lot, we focus. We first focus here on this block. Look at this, and that's MV parser output, and it's tagged with div. And you see these are all the elements of the text. Go here and say copy the attribute. Now the page content is cases, and in this case now it's XML code, not one, not the information. So, and we want to say we want to have an XML element div, and we want to have the class and need the rule parser output, and we don't know whether there is a preceding or a following. So in this case this is the onlyest one, but to be safe we simply say it should be 0. It's independent how many elements following or preceding. So, and what we are interested is in the rest. X. So, and we want to have all of them. But then in all levels, and we want to have the first element of it. So let's look, that's fine. First of it, because we only have one content, and this is our block here, which is clean and safe, and we reduce our further parsing to a subset of these XML elements. So we will be faster and it's more convenient. Or we say this is, I don't know how we called it here, Content XML. So Content XML. So that's it. Now we are interested in the headlines. So how to do that? We are interested in these things here. And they are H2. Okay, now you see it's always the same routine. So now in Content XML, so we have the headlines. Are cases, Content XML, and then we want to have the XML element. We have H2. Let's look what we have. It's a lot. So then we say take the first one. So this is how the content. No, this can't be. Content here. This is one we want to have. XML from here to here. That's our first one. It's the MV headline. This is what we have here. Yeah, that's good. And copy that. Put it here. XML. Now we select the first one. Now we have to put that to variables. So H2, this is working from here to here. H2 has the span, it's this, and then we have all this stuff to get the edit button here. We don't want that. So the first is this, and this is what we are interested in. And the second are for the edit, so we don't want that. So, but this is a list, because the element has only 1, 2, 3 elements, and the body is always last, but this is a list, and we want to have the first of the list, because it's always like this. You see work and then edit. So therefore, we simply say whatever this is here, we are not interested, so that's still working. So then, I think it's good to have it specific with a span, but then it's with headline, that's fine. And we are not interested in this. And I deleted this. So whatever, we are just interested in the class, make it more generic. So now this should work as well, but now everything is a nice key, and now we can put that to variable, because this is what we are interested in. And we go to the end of the XML element of the key and say we want to see the X. And here, now you see we have the early life, and because the key works on all the headers, we have carrier work, exhibitions, awards, and so on. And these are our headlines. Good. Now the paragraphs. Right. Text, no, it's always the same, but let's do it. Now the paragraphs are always like this, and they are very simple. They start with P, then they have a lot of formatting, and then they end with P. So therefore, if we say paragraphs, if we say cases of content XML element, so and we say we want to have P, are not interested, and there are no attributes, we're not interested in the attributes, and we want to have the body. And this is always a list or a string, so that's fine. So then we want to just, no, simply say we want to have them as they are. All. Then we get all these paragraphs formatted. So if we look, for example, paragraphs 12, then we see this is the body, which means, or we can, let's make it X, then we have it X. Don't look it. So then we have, this is the list of things in 1984. Then we have an XML element E. This is an hyperlink and another hyperlink. Plain text. So let's look where it is. Copy, find, file. So here, that's this paragraph. This paragraph. So with all the hyperlinks. By that it's getting a little tricky. But this is what we got as paragraphs. Okay. To read that, just show how it works. So we have to replace part, then replace paragraph 12. So we have an XML element. This is always like this. So, and then we can say if it's A, the title is this, X. So we have, this is, let's go and say href is X. Y, no, let's forget the title. Shape, rect, we don't want that. Comma, ref, X, and this is how we want, how it is written, that's Y. And we want to have that first simply as an Y. So therefore, if there's an hyperlink, then simply take the text and replace it in the paragraph and do this. It's not, so say cases, cases. Okay, here these are the hyperlinks. Don't replace part. Here we are. I forgot the all. So and then you see, now we can say string join, and then we have a clear string. String join of this, and then we have the text without hyperlinks. Good. Just as a small exercise. Now with the images, that's a little tricky. Go and look for the images. These are the images we are interested in. Go here. We have the thumb to right, and you see there are the images and there are the thumbs. It's here, and we are interested in both. Therefore, we first take the image. So that's the image image XML. Is cases of Content XML, XML element of, and then we say div, and then we say class, thumb T right, and then we want to have the body of it. Good. And we want to have all of them. Then we have two of these images. One and two. These two. Good. Within these images, image XML of 1, we have this. And first, we are interested in the source. So it's again here, we can have the source, we have upload 200. So therefore, what we are interested is in this source. So let's check the source. So image cases, image XML. One. So then we simply look for source and then X. Let's go here, list. Well, let's go with the here. This is image source XML image here, and have it here. So take the whole thing, copy as a key, and say all. Then we should get this image. Now we have to make it generic. This is what we are interested in. Where does it start? Coffee, JPEG. X. Skip the rest. Skip this and say we are interested in the X. Then we have that, and again we have to put, it looks like HTTPS in front, and check whether this is working. First, system open. Yes. Good, this is our image. So, that's the image. So let's go here. This is URL. If we take this for the whole image XML, we should get both of them. Yes. Good. These are the two images. So we have to load then images is import of both of them. So this is a map of both of these elements, and then we have both images. That's good. Image URLs, so the references are here. It's href. So instead of image source, we should ask for A and href. A, href. There we are with this. If we say image URLs, and this, now open of image, open of image URLs from 1. I have to check. I think let's go. I think we have wiki file, and we need these comments in front of it instead of HTTPS. So we have wiki file, you see that, and we have to put that in front of it. So if we do that, then we have 8 comments, wiki, and now this should work. Yeah. Good. These are with the images. Now we want to have the caption. Go here, look for it from here to here, copy. Now, image captions is cases of XML of an image XML. Key is this, and for all. So these are the image captions, and we are interested in this part. So put that. So in this part here, so we have that as a variable, and take it out. Then we see just this, and we don't want, we have these here. These, where this, we are not interested in all this, in this stuff. Whatever it is, we have that, and this works, yes. Yeah. So for the first, it's the espresso maker produced by Alessi, and the second is the entrance hall in Maastricht, but it is a link. Is it like that, or no? Produced by Alessi, that's fine. And here central, no, we had a problem. We have a problem. So just go here. Say we want to have multiple. Internal magnifier. Yeah, let's look it up, how I did it. You see it's a little... I simply took that, say whatever it is, no variable, or put a variable here, and then I have these two. Here we are. So the problem here is that we have this magnification bar, we have the link, then we have the string itself, and the same magnification, link, whatever, another link. So, and we can split it later. So this is what we need to format later on. So, to shorten it up, this is the image URL, and you'd seen what we had here, that we looked for the image XML, and then within the image XML we parsed again. So what we have here is, we have the content. So then we look for the content XML. Within the content XML we look for the, this is X. So then we look for the image URLs with the keys we developed here. We look for the thumbs with the keys we developed here, and then we get another cases on the result of this. And we look for the caption. So if we work on all of this, then you see what we have. We have the, in one line, we have the reference, we have the image, and we have the caption. Reference, image, caption in one thing. So the last element is these lists, which is very simple. So these are the lists, and they are like this. Go here, and you see list, start list, end list, and because of that we simply can say cases XML content XML element of list, whatever this is, no attribute but X, and take the X in all hierarchies, all levels, and then we get all these list elements, and most of them have hyperlink, like here. And then we get all these lists. So we skip these kind of pictures, and we skip these kind of references here. We don't want that. So, but these are the elements we are interested in, and now we got an understanding how to get the keys and how to get this working. So now we have to aggregate everything. So this is an understanding of how the web page, how Wikipedia organizes this data and how to get and to access the data we are, the elements of these pages we are interested in. So what we did with all these keys is we extracted them and then we had lists of them. So what we want to have is we want to keep them in a certain in a specific row, and in the sequence we had it in the Wikipedia pages. Therefore, we use the same keys, but we put it into a replace. And with a place we can go for a lot of keys in parallel. So what you see here is that we say replace Content XML, and then we look for all these that's here. We look for all these keys we are interested in: the thumb image, the image, the caption. So then we are interested in the headlines, we are interested in the title, we are interested in the paragraphs, lists, and so on. So on, we transfer it to the format we want to have. And this, for example, the title, we want to have as an MTPF page. Then we want to have a text with a paragraph. We want to have a simple text with the list. So then with the images, we go into it and say we translate it into an image as we discussed it before. We translate it into a link if we have an hyperlink here as discussed before. And we have an italic for the caption, what we had. So doing that, we replace all the XML elements we are interested in with a cell and keep it as a place where it is. And then we say we keep we just look for all the cells there and forget all the XML elements. So having that, we see what we get. So now we have always cells. And these cells are from here, for example, to here. Then there's a next cell from here to here, cell, mathematical cells from here to here. And the only problem what we still have is, so they are in the proper line. So we collected everything what we want, pictures, everything, and have them in the proper sequence. The only problem what we have is that we have, for example, bold or hyperlinks here. And this is done in the next step. We simply say this cell filter, replace. If there is an, for example, here, this is bold, Aldo Rossi, and then we replace it as we did it in former examples. We replace it by FTP bold, get that, and do it for all the formats we need. If there's an A, put it as an hyperlink. So therefore, if we run this, this is not important. If we run this on our cells filter, then we got formatted, text formatted cells and a list of that. Good. So this is what we had. We looked for all the keys to get an understanding of the format and so on. Then we use all the keys and translate these elements into cells. We do the formatting. I didn't check whether this can be part of that, but then you have this overlap, and if it matches, and there's if it matches once at a certain place, then the second round is blocked, and you don't know whether it's working or not. Therefore, I separated that. So because these elements here are always inside these. So this is a selection, this is a formatting. Then you have cells, and these cells needs to be printed to a notebook. So therefore we create a notebook, and we say our title should be a chapter. It should be a flat list of cells. So if I make a list of the title and the formatted cells, all this stuff here, all this stuff is cell formatted. Then I flatten it. I also can have an append. So then these should run in, so here we are. So everything is fine. Good. And these links should work. Good. Good. If we have that, it's a principal parsing. Now I summarize all these things. Now we want to create a book entry to the library. So we have to link our library. Choose that. This is our library. Now we say we want to have a book name. This is, for example, Wiki of A5. This is a book name we want to work in. That's untitled here, therefore these links don't work yet. The title is The Architect's Selection 1. So whatever. So then we have this data set. Wikipedia, the title of the book, the year, it's this year, Wikibook is nothing, then we have Wikipedia here, then the page URL, whatever, book name, words, can do it later. So that's very rough metadata. With this we create the directory. We had it already. If you go to our library, so this is our library, and then we have this Wiki A5. These are the metadata. So we had that. So now we should get our book here to the menu. Here. Now this is a book selected. Here we can get the metadata. So these are things we discussed in prior tutorials to make our efforts here compatible with our library and accessible with the other tools. So this is now when I put everything together. We can leave that. This simply says parse Wikipedia, book name and the URL. All the things plus some functions of comfort I put together. So you can find all the stuff we discussed in one function. So, and all these multiple definitions of that is just to enable you to use MTP parse Wikipedia with different formats. You can have it now with a with a page ID. So this is then an integer. Then it works. The entry point is this function, and then it's translated to the QID and so on. If you put it as a string, then you have it here. Then it's looking whether it's a URL or it's just the name. If it's just a name, construct the QID and make that. So if you have it full URL with the copy and paste from the browser here, then it's fine. And then you can work as well. Or you can use these URLs so that they are interactive. This happens if you scan and parse and use it by code and run it by code, and then you get this format. All these are working. So now let's check how it works. It's a second function, so we have two of them. The second function is here, book create. This is what we had with our 05 or 04. Delete that. Where do we have? Okay. Now again, go for Wikipedia A5. This is a summary of what we discussed before. It goes to the library. We already had that. Book create wiki A5. Then we create this file, empty file with this name. So, and this is the Wikipedia parse article, and here we say MTP parse Wikipedia of Aldo Rossi, and now it's putting it in here. So I added some few more things like our page image, the views, but in principle this is what we discussed. This I showed before. Get rid of that. MTP parse Wikipedia of well, here we are. Good. Now let's have a nice summary how to work with it. Save it, get rid of that. Now, for example, we can create a book. Oh, let's do it from without our script. For example, these are the lists of all the architects. All the architects. A nice list. Good. We just use our parser to get this list. Okay, now we create this book, call this list of architects. And we write these data. So these are the list of all the architects, just using our function we created. So they all work. Peter Harrison, node 1. So now there's interesting, no, that's the 19th century, interesting tool is this one. We can say, if you select certain architects here, or certain cells, you get with this function cells of notebook, selected notebook. The notebook is this list of architect. This is notebook. And now you can get all these cells. These are the 6 or 7 cells. And these are their URLs. Now we have, for example, here a URL of an architect. Okay. And of course now we can use these URLs to, like we did it here, by hand, to parse Wikipedia pages. So for example, we can create a new book, My Architect's Selection. This is notebook 2, My Architect's Selection. So and then we simply say these cells, we want to import all them to My Architect's Selection. So which says my parse Wikipedia. We can do it by hand, by going in here step by step, or we can take these cells, put it here as a pure function, and then map each element of these to this function and write it to this notebook, which means it's parsing multiple pages. Coming. Yes, sometimes there are errors, which are big. The parser is not 100% bulletproof, but this is should not be our problem. So you got a nice selection of architects. This is double. You can keep that. Yep. I'll get the new ones. And add them. Get the selected cells and add them to our still running. Finished. So we have it here. Isozaki, Arne Jacobsen, Helmut Jahn, Benny Jansen. Here we are. So this is how it works. Add another one. Parse Wikipedia. Go for one and say Paul, this Iranian guy, and say no, too complicated to write. Paul, and Troy. Now we have to take the Iranian one. Good. Here, copy this. Put it in here and edit. Here we are in our document collection of my architects. So this is what I wanted to show you. I hope you find it interesting, and I hope you can use it, and I hope you start to play around and think in this way how to improve and how to get other connections to other servers in a similar way, so that you can actively work in this big and enormous corpus of information, for example about architecture. Thanks for watching and see you soon.